December. Dolly's Music Box. The end of the year was here and winter had arrived. The friends all gathered on the hillside and were enjoying the chilly afternoon. When they got hungry, Iris invited everyone to her house for lunch. "That was delicious! Thank you!" they told her when they had finished eating, and they all helped to clear the table. Dolly spotted an odd little box on the shelf that had a ballerina on the top. "What's that?" "It's a music box. Turn the key on the side and you'll see." "It's so beautiful," Dolly dreamed. "Where is it from? I bought it at an advent fair on the other side of the hill." "Is it far?" "It's very far. I went on the train," Iris told her. "That's a pity." Time passed and the little beetles all set off home. Berry did not go home, but he went to find the magpie. "Dear magpie, would you please fly to the market and bring a music box back for Dolly?" "Of course, I'll go tomorrow, and if all goes well, I'll be back in no time," he agreed. Christmas was coming, and Berry and Dolly agreed to spend the day together. The Ladybird girl had sewn a cushion for Berry. Berry waited for the magpie, but he never reappeared. One day before Christmas, Flutter went to see Berry. "Why are you so upset?" asked the butterfly girl. "I wanted to give Dolly a music box, but the magpie still hasn't brought it. What shall I do? Have you got any ideas?" "We could be a music box. I'll stand on the box and I'll be the ballerina, and we'll ask Bubble to hide inside. Bubble will play music, and I'll turn around on the top like the dancer on Iris's box." "That's a fantastic idea! I'll call Bubble right away," Berry gasped. By the time Berry and Bubble arrived back, the butterfly girl had finished painting the sides of the box. "Come on, Bubble, hide inside," Flutter told him. Bubble started to play a tune on his flute. "Oh, that's perfect," Berry said in astonishment. Christmas Eve at last arrived. The Ladybird girl had wrapped the cushion that she had made as a present. There was a sudden knock at the door. Berry was standing there and he asked Dolly to close her eyes. "You can come now, Dolly," Berry shouted, and the Ladybird girl stepped into the room. "Oh, a music box," she said in surprise. "It's wonderful," she said and smiled as she hugged Berry. Then she hugged Flutter and took a peek under the box. "Come and spend Christmas with me," said the Ladybird girl. They had just sat down when there was a knock on the window. "I'm sorry I'm late, Berry, but I got caught in a snowstorm," Magpie stuttered and handed the music box to Berry. Then Berry handed it to Dolly. The magpie decided to stay for a while, and they all spent Christmas together. October. Bubble tidies up. It was a sunny day in October, and Stanley the stag beetle and Bubble the flower beetle were collecting horse chestnuts in the forest. Most of the chestnuts had already rolled out of their cases, but there were still a few enclosed in their spiky coats.
Look at this! Isn't it beautiful?
Bubble enthused.
Just like a baby in a cradle.
We'll make little figures out of the chestnuts at home, okay? Stanley asked.
Okay.
Bubble bounced. They soon arrived back at the stag beetle's house. They started working right away. Within no time, the table was covered in little chestnut characters.
I'm going to take the ones I made home with me,
Bubble decided. They soon arrived at the little yellow house with the tulip-shaped windows. Stanley shouted as soon as they walked inside. "Oh, what a mess, Bubble! And where are we going to put our chestnut figures in all this mix-up?"
Hang on, I'll make a space for them on a shelf,
said Bubble.
There you go, they can go here,
he announced with pride. This is no good, Bubble. Tidy up. I'm happy to help, Stanley offered.
I don't like tidying up.
While Bubble was complaining, he accidentally kicked a spotty ball. The rocket pushed the toy cars. The cars toppled the robot, and that pushed over a pile of books. And a pretty gingerbread house dropped from the top of the pile that Rosita Rose Beetle had given him for Christmas.
No! Rosita baked this for me,
he showed Stanley. But it's ruined now, Bubble, the stag beetle said with a shake of his head.
I'll ask Rosita to bake another one.
Okay, but after that we'll tidy up, okay?
Okay,
Bubble agreed. Rosita was very happy to see them and invited them inside.
Rosita, the gingerbread house you made me got smashed,
Bubble admitted.
Oh no, I worked so much on that present. I know, and I'm sorry. It was an accident in the mess. But I've promised Stanley I'm going to tidy up my room. Please bake a new one for me. Of course I'll bake you another one.
But promise to look after it this time, said Rosita, calmer now.
I will,
Bubble promised. When he got home, Bubble took a look around and wondered where to start tidying. Starting is always the hardest part, the stag beetle reassured him. So Bubble set to work and soon he started to enjoy it. He was just adding the finishing touches when Rosita appeared. "Your new gingerbread house is ready," she proudly announced and handed her creation to Bubble.
"Thank you,"
Bubble said with a smile.
"I'll give you one of my chestnut figures in return."
"Great, thank you. I'd like the snowman, please." Dr. Owl gets sick. The first snow had begun to fall. Berry and Dolly sat mesmerised as they watched the white snowflakes cover all they could see. The next day, the side of the hill was blanketed in a thick layer of snow. The Ladybird girl fetched her sledge, and there was enough space on it for 3. Bubble at the front, Berry in the middle, and Dolly at the back. "The whole forest is white," the spider cheered.
The lake soon froze over in the chilly temperatures. The little friends had lots of fun skating on the ice. "Bubble, don't chew the icicles," Dolly shouted to the baby beetle, but Bubble's mind was elsewhere. "Come, let's build a snowman," the snail boy said, but Bubble was not in a good mood. "I've got a sore throat, Berry. We'll build a snowman another time, okay?" Berry called Dr. Owl to come and take a look at Bubble. "Open wide," the old owl instructed his patients. "Oh, it's very red. You've got a very sore throat and you need to rest in bed for a couple of days." The little friends visited Bubble every day. Dolly even made him special tea. Flutter read Bubble stories. She put the book down when the baby beetle drifted off to sleep and carried on from the same place when he woke up again. A couple of days passed and Bubble was feeling much better. "We can build that snowman now," Bubble said to Berry with a smile. Berry and Dolly decided to invite their friends for lunch. The guests all arrived at noon. "It's really delicious," Balthazar enthused. "Why isn't Dr. Owl here?" "I don't know," Dolly replied. "Perhaps he forgot." "I know why Dr. Owl didn't come today. He's not well. He caught a chill. I met his chicks and they told me." "That can't be right," Bubble blustered. "Doctors never get sick." "Why can't doctors get sick? A mechanic's car breaks down now and again. And a cobbler gets holes in his shoes," Flutter explained to Bubble. "Let's pay him a visit and we can make him a present because it's very nearly Christmas," Berry suggested. The four boys sat together and made a candle holder for Dr. Owl. They glued pieces of wood together, painted winter pictures on them, and added candles on top. "It looks lovely," Stanley said, sounding satisfied. The girls made a colourful wreath out of paper. "Dr. Owl can hang it on his front door," Leapy smiled. The next day they went to see Dr. Owl. The old owl was weak and lying in bed, but he was delighted to see his visitors. "Oh, they are beautiful," he said with a warm smile when he unwrapped his presents. By the time Christmas Day came around, Dr. Owl was feeling much better. Mama Owl put biscuits and cordial on the table, and the owl chicks got out their favourite cards. They chatted and played together for a long time. On their way home, they saw that Dr. Owl had placed the wreath on his front door, and the candles were burning brightly in his window. Seashells. Zephyr the dragonfly and Leapy the grasshopper girl were collecting pebbles down by the stream. Dr. Owl flew down to join them. "I'm going to see Bubble, he's got a sore throat," he said and hurried on. But soon after that, he tripped on a tree root and fell over. His doctor's bag flew open and everything fell out onto the ground. Leapy and Zephyr helped to gather up all of his things. As well as medical instruments, they found all kinds of strange things. They were presents from my patients. You shouldn't keep such beautiful treasures in your doctor's bag. You're right. I'll look for a small box, the old owl nodded, but I've got to hurry because Bubble is waiting for me. Bye-bye, Dr. Owl, the girls shouted after him. Zephyr and Leapy were strolling home when they saw the robin outside Dolly's house. The red bird was just saying goodbye to the ladybird girl. I have to go now. It's a long flight to the seaside. Are you going to the seaside?
Can we go with you too?
Asked Zephyr and Leapy with glee. I'd be happy to take you, the bird replied. They could clearly see the whole forest from high in the sky, as well as the lake and all the little houses. They flew for a very long time until they reached the endless blue of the salty sea.
Thank you for your help, Robin.
And the friends ran quickly to the sandy beach. They collected super seashells and could hardly decide which ones they liked the best.
Look, this one's beautiful too. I'll put it in the bag,
said Leapy as the treasures began to collect in the little bag. Just then the crab appeared and walked straight through the sand-coloured bag, smashing their carefully collected pile of seashells into little pieces. Oh, the shells! She nervously tipped the contents of the bag out onto the sand, but not one single shell was still intact. Don't be sad. The best shells are never on the beach, but deep down at the bottom of the sea. I'll bring you much more beautiful seashells. The girls liked the sound of this. The crab jumped quickly into the sea and very soon reappeared with a collection of fabulous seashells. He kept doing this until the bag was completely full. They're beautiful seashells, Crab, thank you.
It's time for us to go home. We have to find the robin.
But the robin had no intention of going home. Not until the spring, she said sulkily. Then how will we get home again? The girls asked. By Turtle! Come on! I'll give you a ride, said a voice from the waves. So Leapy and Zephyr travelled home on the turtle's back. When they arrived back home, they thanked the turtle for his help and said goodbye. The next day, Leapy and Zephyr showed Berry and Dolly all the lovely seashells they had collected. Let's make something out of them, Berry suggested. That's a super idea, but what? Asked Zephyr.
Oh, I know. Let's make a box for Dr. Owl's treasures,
Leapy said, and they all got hard to work. The old owl was very pleased with the box, and he carefully placed his collection of special things inside. A pebble, a pine cone, a conker, a pressed flower, a pencil, some drawings, and a wooden horse. Bubbles' Tower. It was a lovely summer afternoon and Bubble the baby beetle decided to play with his colourful building blocks. I'm going to build a tall tower with my blocks, he thought to himself and carried them to a hill nearby. He tipped the bright blocks out of their box in the shade of a big oak tree. As the tower grew, it was harder and harder for Bubble to reach the top. He had to stand on tiptoe and was just reaching for the top when his hand slipped and the tower tumbled to the ground. Oh no, Bubble complained. Now I have to start all over again. So the baby beetle started again from the beginning. The tower soon began to grow and was very tall indeed. But oh dear, an acorn from the oak tree knocked the baby beetle's tower down. My lovely tower! My tower's ruined again! It was the silly oak tree's fault, he said out loud. So little Bubbles started again, but this time he moved out from under the old oak tree. He was stacking the blocks on top of each other when his friends Berry the snail, Dolly the ladybug and Stanley the stag beetle came walking over. "Wow, you've built a beautiful tower, Bubble," they all said.
Yes, it's nearly finished. All I have to do is put the red triangle on the very top.
But then the wind blew and toppled his tall tower. Bubble got very angry.
I don't believe it. I don't want to build towers anymore. I'm going home.
His friends ran after him. "Bubble, wait! Why don't we rebuild your tower together?"
No, I don't want to build towers anymore. You can't build a really high tower with this many blocks anyway,
grumbled. He went into his house and slammed the door shut. "How can we help Bubble?" Dolly puzzled.
We've got to think of a way to cheer him up somehow.
"I know what we can do," Stanley said. "I've got another set of building blocks at home. I'll go and fetch them so we can build a really high tower together."
"That's a super idea. I've a box full of building blocks too."
"And I'll bring mine. We'll build the tallest tower ever."
Berry pulled his blocks in a little trailer. Dolly pushed hers in a wheelbarrow and Stanley carried his in a big basket. "Hello, Bubble. Look, we brought our building blocks. Why don't we build a big tower together?" Dolly asked nicely.
"We could build it in your house so that the wind won't knock it down again," Berry added. Goodness me! Look at all those building blocks. We'll be able to build a very big tower with them,
the baby beetle said with a smile.
And now it's time to pop the red triangle on the top. You should put it on, Bubble,
Stanley suggested. Hooray! It's finished! They all shouted together. Then Berry, Dolly and Stanley said goodnight to Bubble. The baby beetle went to bed very happy that night. He stared at the tower until he fell fast asleep. The Puppet Show. One sunny summer morning, Berry knocked hard on Dolly's door.
"It's the puppet show today. Let's go and tell Flutter and Eddie too."
Berry and Dolly's first stop was at the pretty butterfly's house.
"Wake up, Flutter. The fleas are going to give a puppet show. It's Snow White."
The little friends stopped in front of the potato beetle's house.
"Eddie, are you coming to see the puppet show?"
But Eddie didn't open his door.
"Hurry up, Eddie. We're going to be late,"
Berry shouted, but there was still no answer. Flutter gently turned the handle and popped her head inside.
"Are you still in your pyjamas, Eddie?"
Berry grumbled.
"Hurry up and get dressed."
"I'm not going. My tummy's covered in nasty bites. It really itches,"
Eddie sobbed. "Let me have a look," Dolly told him. "They're not bites. You've got chicken pox," the ladybird girl told her sickly friend. "There's no need to be scared. I've had them already, and I had thousands of spots." "I'll go and get Dr. Owl," Dolly announced. "He'll know what to do." Dr. Owl soon arrived and took a good look at Eddie.
It's definitely chickenpox. Chickenpox is contagious, Eddie. I'm afraid you won't be able to go to the puppet show. Contagious? Does that mean Berry, Dolly and Flutter are going to catch my chickenpox? No, don't worry. You can only catch chickenpox once, and they all had it last year. You mustn't scratch your spots.
There'll be another puppet show, Berry reassured him.
Don't be sad. You'll get better soon, Dolly smiled. Berry, Dolly and Flutter said goodbye to the little potato beetle and hurried off to see the puppet show. The puppet show was already set up in the meadow, and the puppeteers were 5 fleas. The curtains soon opened, and the puppet show began. They all watched the rest of the puppet show and clapped loudly at the end. The flea puppeteers came out from behind the tent and took a bow. It's such a shame that Eddie couldn't come with us, Dolly said with a sad smile. I'm sure he'd have really liked it. Why don't we put a puppet show on for him? Dolly suddenly suggested. That's a super idea, Dolly, Flutter said. And the 3 friends were soon all hard at work. Flutter drew dwarves, Dolly drew Snow White and the Prince, and Berry drew the Wicked Queen. Then they cut their drawings out and glued them onto sticks. When they were ready, they all crept under Eddie's window and tapped on the glass. The little potato beetle opened the window and looked out. Let the puppet show begin, Berry announced, and the 3 friends started the show. Thank you, he said. You're the best friends a beetle could have. Dr. Owl came back 10 days later, and all Eddie's spots had gone. Pebbles. One sunny summer afternoon, Dolly decided to cook a strawberry cake. She asked Stanley the stag beetle and Balthazar the bee to go and collect wild strawberries in the forest. The 2 boys set off. Balthazar soon spotted a pebble in the middle of the path, and he started to kick it along. But Stanley also liked the look of the pebble, and he tackled it off Balthazar.
That's not fair, Stanley. I found it. I want to kick it down the path.
It's my pebble now. Find another pebble to kick.
But I found it, so it's mine,
Balthazar moaned. There are loads of pebbles. Find another one, Stanley said, trying to close the argument. But Balthazar wouldn't leave it at that. He pushed Stanley out of the way so that he could kick the pebble. The 2 of them continued to push and shove until they both tumbled down the hill into the babbling brook. Alfonso the cricket came out of his house to see what all the noise was about. What's going on? He asked.
It's all Stanley's fault. He took my pebble.
It wasn't your pebble. I was just a better kicker.
That's enough of that,
Alfonso interrupted.
Come inside, get dry, and then tell me all about what started this silly argument.
The 2 boys muttered to themselves as they followed the cricket into his little house. They hung their wet clothes out in the hot sun and sat wrapped in towels while they waited for them to dry. Alfonso gave them both a glass of lemonade and a biscuit. The sun's warm rays soon dried the clothes. Stanley and Balthazar munched sulkily on their biscuits. They told Alfonso all about what had happened and how they had rolled down the hill into the brook.
I've got a whole collection of pebbles.
Pebbles? Can we have a look?
Balthazar enthused. Of course, Alfonso said with a proud smile, and he placed a large box on the table. Where did you find all these lovely pebbles? Stanley asked. Down by the brook. You can collect some too if you like. They filled their baskets with pebbles. They sat sorting them and organising them until it started to get dark. The little stag beetle and the bee boy said goodbye to their cricket friend and started to walk back up the hill. They soon came to Dolly's house. The little ladybird girl shouted angrily out of the window. Where are the strawberries? Oh dear.
The strawberries.
We forgot the strawberries.
Dolly, look at the lovely pebbles we collected with Alfonso.
What am I supposed to do with them? Make pebble cakes? I asked for strawberries. But we forgot, Stanley admitted, and he told her the whole long story. Well, I see. Let me have a look at those pebbles, if you didn't bring any strawberries. We should paint something on them. This one looks just like a little house. And this one, I might paint a smiley face on it.
That's a super idea. We can invite the others and spend all day painting pebbles.
Great! The next morning, Berry the little snail boy arrived at Dolly's house with Flutter the butterfly, Zephyr the dragonfly, Leapy the grasshopper, Eddie the potato beetle and Bubble the baby beetle. Where are Stanley and Balthazar? Berry asked with a disappointed sigh. Here we are, the stag beetle and the bee boy announced, and they proudly presented Dolly with a big basket of strawberries. Oh, thank you, the little ladybird girl said, and she mixed the cake while the others got to work painting the pebbles. When they had finished, they invited Alfonso to come and see their exhibition. They all look really good. I'll bring my pebbles tomorrow and we can paint them too, the cricket told his friends. When the strawberry cake was ready, they all sat around the table and ate every last crumb. The Yellow Ladybird. The spring had come at last. Dolly decided it was time to tidy up her flower garden. She got her spade and a rake and tied a pretty dotted scarf around her head. She had only just stepped outside when she heard someone groaning behind her house. Christopher, your wing looks broken, the little ladybird exclaimed.
The sun shone in my eyes and I flew straight into a tree. I really hurt myself,
the canary said. Just then, Berry the snail and Stanley the stag beetle arrived. Stanley, please go and get Dr. Owl. Christopher's wing's broken, Dolly said, taking control. Dr. Owl soon arrived. It looks like a very bad break, he said seriously. Then carefully and slowly he bandaged Christopher's broken wing.
You know, Dolly, Christopher said one day, there's a little ladybird living on the island I come from.
Really? Is she red with black dots like me? Dolly asked excitedly. And what's her name?
She's called Katie. Her back isn't red, it's yellow, but her dots are black like yours. She looks a lot like you. Why don't you come to meet her when my wing's better?
That sounds like a super idea. Can Berry come too?
Of course he can. There's enough room for both of you on my back.
A few days later, Dr. Owl came to visit the injured canary. He was happy to say that Christopher's wing was as good as new. The canary thanked the owl for his help, put Berry and Dolly on his back, and headed for his island home. They soon found themselves flying over a large lake with a little island in the middle of the water.
Can you see it? We're flying to that island. My nest is on top of the highest tree. Hold on tight, we're coming in to land.
Christopher landed perfectly, and Berry and Dolly climbed down.
You can't catch me, shouted a bright beetle in an orange dress. She was talking to the tiny fleas running after her. Watch out, Dolly shouted, but the girl beetle ran right into her. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to knock you over. My name's Katie. Who are you? Oh, you're Katie. We're here to see you. My name's Dolly, and I've come a long way to meet my ladybird cousin. Ladybird cousin? Katie asked with a puzzled smile. Yes, you've got black dots just like me, except you're yellow instead of red. Wow, you're right, the yellow ladybird said. Come with me and I'll show you my house, Katie said. As soon as they saw Katie's house, Berry and Dolly started to laugh. My house looks exactly like this, but mine's red. Berry, Dolly and Katie took a long walk around the island. There's the pine forest with the little stream running next to it. We built the bridge ourselves, Katie explained with pride. And what's that in the middle of the meadow? Berry asked. It looks like a slide. That's right. It's a special flower slide. Come with me. I'll show you. Can I have a go? Of course you can. Follow me, Katie said and slid down on the curvy slide. Berry, Dolly and Katie slid down the slide again and again until it started to get dark. It's getting late. Come on, you two, I'll take you home, Christopher said. Dolly and Katie swapped headscarves as a parting present. Have a safe trip home, Katie told them. Do visit me again sometime. It was getting very late by the time Christopher arrived at Dolly's dotty house. The moon shone and the sky was full of sparkling stars.